Hello and welcome back to another fabulous episode of Absolutely Pickled. Lee, this week we've got another fantastic guest and not a bad looking one either. Would you like to do the honors and introduce our fantastic guest this week?
Absolutely. We have the one and only visionary founder, CEO, brainchild behind Honcho Pickleball League, the one, the only, Aaron Sunstrum.
Howdy, howdy. Excited to be here. Thank y'all for having me on. I hear that this is set to be a great session, so I'm ready to dive in with y'all.
Excellent. And listen to that beautiful southern drawl, ladies and gentlemen. So we're all going to just be listening to him talk. So we're going to try and make you talk as much as possible, mate. So let's start. I know we've never met in person, have we, Aaron? But we've chatted a couple of times and we've been brainstorming how we can work together. But give us a quick overview. You've got the hat on, I think, but give us a quick overview of Honcho Pickleball League and what exactly is it?
Yeah, absolutely. I will say this. One, I'm long-winded, so if I go a little too long, you give me the nod or the wink.
Sure enough, I'm the gatekeeper. Yeah, I'll keep you on track, mate.
Appreciate that. And then, yeah, we'll dive into a little bit about who we are, where we've been, where we are, where we're going, and should be a quick elevator spiel. Does that work?
Yeah, that works completely.
Awesome. That's great. So I guess best place to start is who is Honcho Pickle? Over the upcoming 18 months and here on, we are aggressively pursuing becoming the premier amateur pickleball league provider of choice in our greater effort to become the premier pickleball community and experience business over the upcoming time period from there on. And so where this all started was a backyard league with some friends here in the flagship city of Houston, Texas.
All right.
We were playing pickleball at a pretty high level at a friend's court that was private in their backyard. And since then, it has flourished in Houston, has grown significantly, at which point has really allowed us to excel and grow at a pretty expedited rate. And so speaking towards that, Houston being our flagship between our inaugural season and our second season, and then our second and third season, saw a tremendous level of demand and attraction towards our target demographic of roughly 22 to 38-year-old individuals.
Oh my God. So it's the youngsters with the crash bang wallet flying around the court kids.
That's right. It's the youngsters, but I will say, as we've grown and as we've stretched into new markets, we've had people well past that 22 to 38-year-old demographic join and be a part of the family. And so it's been great to see that expand. But yeah, we realized that there was a massive gap in the market. There was not really a third-party league administrator doing things well, highly tech integrated, highly administered on a local level, let alone city, state, nationwide. And so saw a gap, went to go attack it, stretched our brand from Houston to Austin, Dallas, and Los Angeles as a part of our phase 1 expansion effort, then stretched it again to Phoenix, Detroit, Miami, Chicago, and Atlanta. And then our phase 3 expansion effort actually kicks off here at the end of April.
Okay.
We are stretching into an additional 6 new cities to round us out at 15 cities where there will be multi-skill set amateur league play on a week-to-week basis happening under the Honcho umbrella.
Nice. And
when does amateur world domination take place? Is that 2025? Is that the goal?
We're shooting for end of 2024. We're an aggressive bunch, but we're polished. We really, really are keen about offering a really strong user experience to get people playing the sport more consistently on a week-to-week basis, but also providing different skill set divisions so people feel that they have a home no matter where they are with their pickleball endeavors. And so, yeah, we're planting flags aggressively, partnering with venues to host our leagues in a multitude of cities, and then looking to grow in those cities season over season over season.
So we talked about how many participants. You started out with 24. Then you got, that was season 1, right? And then you expanded, and how did the expansion go? I love hearing the numbers.
Yeah, no, it has been a whirlwind to say the least. This has all happened within 7 months.
Yeah.
In that 7 months have caught the attention of some pretty great brands, one of which is Yola Pickleball, another Celsius Energy Drinks, Zing Zang Bloody Mary Mix, as well as Pickled Ultra. It's been exciting. But yeah, it started off 8 months ago, 24 people backyard league that then stretched into 100 people here in Houston, partnering with one venue to be the host of our league as opposed to a backyard court.
Yeah.
That then stretched into 4 different cities as a part of our phase 1 expansion, partnering with 4 different pickleball venues, which we amassed to roughly just under 400. That then stretched to phase 2, us being in 9 different cities, 9 different pickleball venue partners, with just under 700 pickleball league participants.
Yeah.
And this phase 3 expansion, again, kicking off in late April with our late spring season. We've partnered with over 15 different venues across 15 different cities, of which we are targeting roughly 1,000 to 1,200 league participants across those cities, across those venue partners for this late spring season.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
I love it. And we've talked about you know, when we first discussed this podcast and what we wanted to do is like there's so much out there on the emphasis of pro pickleball, right? Whereas Penn and I truly believe that like the heartbeat of the sport, the pulse, everything of what's going on in this sport is happening at the amateur recreation level, right? The pro, we're like 1% of the demographic that plays pickleball. 99% of the demographic that plays pickleball are your amateurs. Yep. Probably more than 99%, but and that to me is the heartbeat, and I feel like that's where the growth needs to happen and where the emphasis needs to be put. Even though this could be sexy and shiny over here, this is where magic happens, where communities are built, friendships are made, you name it, right? We've said it all, and that's where I think that's where the beauty is in pickleball.
Yeah.
So true. I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, there is just such a community aspect, a competitive aspect, a relational aspect, networking, social, and everything in between to this sport. And as this sport continues to become more popular and more in demand, you know, being able to provide a national community where, you know, there's a local feel and a local presence, but multiple cities that are engaged in this national community, I think it's really valuable. I think a lot of players or participants rather, are excited about playing more consistently week over week and then seeing their skill set grow and develop while making friends and rivals along the way.
Yeah, so, no kidding. So
exciting.
On that note, can you explain the format to everybody, and also mention, we're gonna obviously make sure we get all the details for everybody that's listening to kind of plug into this and maybe join a league. But the format and also the honcho kind of head honcho idea, what were you trying to do there? You know where I'm going with this.
I definitely know where you're going with it, and I can definitely speak to that. So the format is it's a doubles league where you and your partner join for the entirety of the season. It's an 8-week season, 6 weeks of which are regular season match play. 1 match per week, best of 3, games to 11, win by 2 in your specific skill set division. Again, varying skill set divisions. By the end of that 6-week season, whether you're 6-0, 5-1, 4-2, 3-3, your record is then thrown into proper seeding thrown into a playoff bracket in which it is quarterfinal, semifinal, championship across those last 2 weeks of the 8-week season to determine, Penny, this is my cue.
Yes.
Who is the head honcho of Houston?
There it is. There it is.
Of Phoenix, of et cetera. And, you know, the intention is to host a end of year 2024 national tournament where if you have won a specific head honcho title in your city for your skill set division in one of the many seasons that happen in your backyard, then you qualify for the head honcho national championship tournament to see who is the head honcho of the nation.
So. And you get a t-shirt with a monkey on it.
The head honcho national tournament, you can rest assured it'll be some pretty great prize packages and pot, if you will.
Yeah,
But for each of the seasons, we also do have a lot of cool incentives for joining,
yeah,
to include the mid-season social hours or happy hours that we host each season, to include some honcho branded merch, um,
nice.
high quality merch.
High quality merch. I mean, probably almost as high quality as absolutely pickled, but you
That's
know,
right. Not
probably
as nice, but pretty dang close.
nice try. Ours is more
So are you
colourful.
gonna, if you, so like, let's say I'm an amateur and I play and then I compete in the national championships and become the head honcho, right? A far stretch, I know. But let's say I won my division in Phoenix. Like, what is the likelihood that you will be able to get a street named after me?
Well, is it Lee Whitwell we're talking about, or is it average Joe?
No, no, it's anybody that's won Honcho. Now, if you want to, you can get a Lee Whitwell street named after me. Then I mean, that's fine. We can do that now. No. But I mean, I think that would be a good perk. Like, and you get a street. How many people can say they have a street named after them?
Exactly.
How many people?
I mean,
How many
it's a
people
bit of an
y'all have?
ask. You usually have to do
Between the
something
three
really
of us.
spectacular or die, one or the other.
Well, win a Honcho league is pretty spectacular, I
Yeah.
think.
That's right. I mean, you get the title, and more than that, you get a pretty substantial winners package. But as it relates to street signs, Lee, you, me, and Penny may have to get creative and tap
Yeah.
on some important people in important places to make that happen. But
You never know what random question and idea will come out of Whitwell's head. That's today's doozy, apparently. So,
Hey,
hey, I
like
have a
drawing
question.
board. Let's get creative.
Yeah, exactly. So you mentioned that this all started when you were playing with mates and whatever. So what is your individual pickleball journey? Did you come from tennis? How did you get involved in this?
That's an awesome question, and I actually love that question. So ironically and strangely enough, I did not have a paddle or racket background, nothing tennis related, nothing racquetball or handball related, anything like that. I am an athlete at heart, a competitor, through and through. Before picking up pickleball only a few years back, it was honestly 2 years ago, almost to the day, was very aggressively playing amateur beach volleyball at a pretty high level, in which
Oh,
I was participating in three different leagues week over week over week. So I love the amateur sports world. I love the networking, socializing, competitive aspect, the community feel, which, as you can very well imagine, spurred Honcho into existence. But yeah, picked up pickleball 2 years ago. And unfortunately for my beach volleyball days, those have now aggressively been sunsetted, and pickleball has slid into the tune of 4 to 5 times a week. My wife is not happy about that, but that is
hey,
the story.
happens to all of us. Like our spouses
It
and our
does.
partners are questioning the relationship, aren't they? But I managed to get my husband into it eventually, so that was good. So, but
That's
he's not very,
my
he's
hope,
getting,
goal, and that's my hope, goal, and dream. I got to
yeah,
get
there you
Taylor
go.
involved, huh?
Yeah. Oh, that's really
Yeah, I mean, if you want a successful marriage, then yes.
yeah,
Happy life, and I need to
that's
figure out how to
right.
make you happy with pickleball.
And anything that's bad is probably to do with dad. That's what I say at my house.
Blame dad always.
Exactly, always. Hey, well, we're going to move along swiftly here, mate. So now we enter into what we call our Dear AP section, which is basically we have writers and listeners and viewers write in and ask us questions that we pepper Lee with. But that does not mean, mate, that you might not have an opinion or I might have an opinion on this, but generally it's for me to learn. So I basically listen to the questions. It's really self-serving. So
This is where Penny gets all her coaching.
it is. It's literally write that down, write that down. Okay,
Always
so
thinking.
without further ado, it's time for Dear AP. Okay, so here we go. First question, Lee Whitwell, are you ready? Kim
Absolutely.
from Orange County asks, I'm having trouble with my backhand volley. I'm either always late and popping it up, or when I try to hit it in front, I send it wide. Can you help me? any tricks I can try to get my paddle in the right place.
Kim, sadly, you sound beyond help.
I was just gonna say, I don't know, Kim. Usually, if I know the person that's written in, I have to forewarn Lee, otherwise she slags off everybody. But I don't know, Kim, so you can give it whatever. But
Kim sounds terrible. Like a lot of it when the paddle's out in front, right? We tend to stop, but if we use our natural body rotation, we want to pull, which is why the minute you do that, that ball's gonna sail, right? So it's really focusing on where my paddle is and am I stopping it out here and pushing it versus a pull. Once we get past end of whatever maximum length of reach, right, the body wants to start to pull and rotate to balance, so it has to, that's why, so you've got to stop it a little before you get to maximum reach. And a lot of it probably is to do with her paddle and tracking the ball and where is the ball in relation to where her paddle is and whatnot. So there's probably a lot going on with you, Kim, that sadly we can't really help in a 30-second clip, but you should probably play in one of Honcho's leagues, because even if your back and volley sucks, you'll still have fun.
yeah,
right.
The spooky part about that whole answer, Lee, was halfway through you must have pressed something, or the spirit of Kim had entered because she was giving it a thumbs up in the corner of your
No, I don't know what's going on with my Zoom. Like sometimes I'll do stuff and I haven't really realized, and like the other day balloons went off, so hey, I think just like you don't know what's coming out of my mouth, you don't know what's coming up.
I think it's Kim. I think it was Kim doing it. All right, well, that's a good answer. So push versus pull, Kim, is the answer to that one. Okay, question number 2 comes from John in Connecticut, and he is a strategic one. He writes, when your opponents shrink middle, giving you the lines, so they're shrinking in front of you, do you take the bait and try the down the line because they've given it to you somewhat, or do you play the percentage shot and drill or drop middle? What do you do, Lee? Well,
what do I do? Whatever the hell I want.
Because you can.
Because I can.
Yeah.
No, look, when opponents shrink middle, they're going to shrink middle for a reason. If they're shrinking middle just because they saw somebody do it, and you have an idea of they may not know what they're going on about, yeah, definitely go down the line. Maybe fall for the bait once, especially if it's on your serve, right? There's nothing to lose. You're losing an opportunity to score a point. You're not giving, it's not on their serve. But if it's a shrink middle and it's strategic, then drop it out wide and move them. But don't drive it down unless they've given you, half the court.
Significant.
Because most of the time you can come over and cover in one step. So if you drive, I'm going to react and counter. Yeah. Unless your drive is like a half inch over the net, which is a little bit hard to do. So just drop it, move them, and then reestablish control of the court. But it's a power move, and it all depends on your skill, how dumb you are, or how dumb your opponent. There's a lot that it's there's reasons why, and it's like you just got to figure out. It's should I, shouldn't I? But if you're gonna fall for the bait, fall for the bait on your serve.
Fall for the bait on your serve, because I was just going to ask you to repeat that because I missed that. But also, we tennis players often do this because we are taught to keep people honest. And if someone's continually coming across the net and poaching, we keep them honest by zinging it down their line, right? But we've got more room, to your point, Lee. And we've always talked about the fact that you don't have much room in pickleball, so don't go for the lines as much. I remember when we were talking to Thadio, and one of the questions was, don't go for the lines, because she kept missing this one listener. So that's interesting. So, but basically do it on your serve so that you're not sacrificing a point if you are taking that higher risk shot.
Or unless your opponent doesn't have an arm and they can't reach, right? They're missing an arm on their left side and they can't get across. But I think, but the other thing too, if you're going to go down someone's line, that was terrible, wasn't it? If you're going to go down someone's line, pick the person with the backhand down the line, not the forehand.
Right.
Slightly less reach.
Right. Yeah.
More tendency to pull on that shot.
And I would imagine they might also, I don't know if it happens more in mixed than it does in women's, because the men are coming across more. Maybe it doesn't when you're playing women's doubles because you're charging over there. But, you know, is that more dangerous because it's the guy, you know, the one side he's giving up? I don't know. I just wondered if it happened more often, or if you saw it more often in mixed than in women's.
I mean, you definitely see it more often in mixed, with the guy coming over trying to be bigger, because typically the guy's in front of the girl, right?
Yeah.
On on two righty combos. The guy typically plays the left, the girl plays the right. However, a lot of it depends on the ball that's being hit, right? If I give you a ball that you can't attack, I can give you my line all day long. If it's not there, it's not there. You know, you can go for it. It's not going to work in your favor, because you've got to maybe hit up on the ball, and by the time you do that, now you're eating the ball. So, you know, yeah, a lot of it is based on, you know, if I'm playing mixed, the guy can come over all he wants. Like, I want him to, because I want him to be intimidating, but a lot of it depends on, now we have to hit a much better ball back so that spaces aren't there. And if they think they're there, then they can be covered easily, right? So.
Got it. Okay, well, there you go, John. There's your answer from the fabulous, again, double gold winner this past weekend, Lee Whitwell. Shall we talk about that real quick? I mean, she's just crushing it. It's money all day long. But you won again this weekend, didn't you, Whitwell?
Yeah, no, I know. I tried to apply for one of Honcho's leagues, and he kicked me out. And he said, "I won money. I'm not allowed to play now."
You're no longer an amateur. I apologize.
I identify as an amateur. Thank you very much. I identify at 3.5 at best.
Well, then guess what? Free pass. You're in. Let's plug you in.
And actually, on that note, Aaron, in the Honcho Pickleball leagues, what are the different levels, real quick, before we get into the questionnaire?
Absolutely. Different skill set divisions, so we can find a home for all. We got it broken out into 5 skill set divisions, of which it starts with beginner female and co-ed only, beginner male only, both of which are sub 3.0, intermediate 3.0 to 3.5, any gender, upper intermediate 3.5 to 4.0, any gender, and then lastly advanced 4.0 to 4.5, any gender. We do tend to see that, you know, we've got some 4.6s, 4.7s that are willing to
sandbag
into that 4.0 to 4.5 range, and it stays competitive, and it's really great. But those are our 5 different skill set divisions, making sure that everybody has good gameplay, the integrity of the sport is protected, and we obviously want to make sure that there aren't any sandbaggers or people out there who think they're Lee Whitwell, but they are not Lee Whitwell.
That's more the case.
Try to convince themselves to be, right?
But you know what, you bring up a really good point, because typically when anyone's organizing a league at the recreation level, we always think about, you know, skill specific, right? You want people to play where they're supposed to play, because it's going to be better for all. No one's upset. No one's going to get pissed off. You know, Karen's not going to be calling you going, "Hey, Ron," you know, he's like, hey, Ron. You know.
Oh, I've had many a Karen's call, and they've somehow found my number, and they've given me an earful. No, I'm kidding. But
I feel like now the hard part now, especially on the amateur on the amateur side of pickleball, and Julian Arnold brought this up, and this has been a hot topic. We've been talking about this on and off for now. I was talking with Jason Aspis from the kitchen at the US Open last year, you know, and I think now it's become this could be a problem. You know, as far as like, if you look at eyewear at the pro level, it's gone up 40%, right? We're all wearing eyewear now. We don't want to get hit in the face. It's gonna, no one wants to lose an eye, right? Paddle technology is, well, sometimes it appears that the technology is allowing more stuff to be done with the ball that's going to be faster than a professional athlete's reflex. I'm talking about mine. I'm talking about you know, an 18 to 27-year-old boy or man, right? Who has fast reflexes, right? So if that's the case, then the other section of the integrity is now, you know, if somebody is 25, a 3.5, 25-year-old with a hot paddle, you know, now the sport can become dangerous, right? So it's like, are we going to start to see more injuries at the amateur level of pickleball because of these hot paddles? Because they do not have professional athlete reflexes. They have amateur athlete weekend warrior reflexes. And is that going to become an issue, right? So I think the second layer to the integrity is you've got the skill set, but now the paddle stuff is also going to come into it. Because, you know, and sometimes, not to throw guys under the bus, but, you know, sometimes, your younger guy has definitely a lot more testosterone, or should have, than your younger female, and will hit harder and swing harder and faster.
Right.
And so I see that sort of becoming a hot topic and an issue point for the Karens of the world, and I mean the male and female Karens. So there's that now that we have to consider, that we didn't have to consider 2-3 years ago.
No. Go ahead, Penny.
No, say it, Aaron. You're the guest.
I was just gonna say, I couldn't agree with you more. Not only is, the skill of the game increasing and growing, that justifies splitting these divisions out further and further and further to make sure people are in the right competition levels. But to your point, technology is improving. The gear and the equipment is just getting astronomically quicker, faster, stronger. And because of that, it does cause question to, should you even further break out skill set divisions? And so we're always trying to stay in front of that, making sure that we are properly breaking out those divisions to make sure that everybody feels like they're in the appropriate home. And to your point, when we look at the beginner level, we really did have to gut check ourselves to realize that sub 3.0, the terminology beginner is so relative, and that beginners that are sub 3.0, right? The female and co-ed gameplay is a little bit different than the sub 3.0 beginner male gameplay. So instead of just mashing those all together, we decided to break those out separately. Anything above that, upper, intermediate, normal intermediate, and then advanced, where it is duper rated or UTR rated, we kept that open, any gender, because
so 2 women can play 2 guys in the league, or you can have 2 mixed. It doesn't matter.
That's right, because it is supposed to be universal, and we want to encourage male, female co-ed play at those upper levels with duper or UTR involvement. But
no, I love the fact that this sport in general, to your point, yes, I know at the beginner level, but the fact that we can hang with the guys and that there's not as much differentiation and we can all play 100%. Together, I think is cool. Hey, we've got to keep this show on the road, or this train going forward. So it's time, Aaron, for the most fun part of the discussion, which is where we get to have rapid fire questions at you. And this is our our AP questionnaire. Okay. 8 questions, very silly. Any answer goes, can be pickleball related, can be not. And so without further ado, are you ready?
Let's do it. I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. First question. What is your favorite word?
Wow. Scale. I love the word scale.
Okay. Interesting.
Like on a fish? On a fish, or what you stand on?
No, I love the word, not a scale for, for standing on or fish related. Scale as in growth, as in advancement, as in development.
As in we're scaling up the Honcho Pickleball League strategy.
That's right.
I prefer knowing that Aaron has a fish fetish.
Yeah, that's actually kind of
tank right over there. 15.
Right, exactly. We can't see it, but there's fish in his background. All right. On the flip side, what is your least favorite word?
Man, I could give you such a cliche answer and say the word lose, but I'll look past that. Wow, that's a tough question. I don't really even know if I
First thing that comes to mind was lose. Is it fail? Is it?
Yeah, I'd say fail or unsuccessful.
Yeah. Because you're an entrepreneur, you're starting something new, so you're looking for success and
you got to compete. Oh, I'll give you one.
Okay.
Pessimism. Hate that word.
Oh, yes.
Very big optimist, and so
I'm an optimist. My husband is a pessimist, and I completely concur with you. That's really annoying, the pessimistic point of view.
Energy vampires.
Yeah, they are. Okay, noise that you love.
Kygo radio. I am a big Kygo musician, DJ fan, and so any song that he puts out,
Okay.
I'll do it on repeat. That's my noise of choice.
Okay. I'm so bad. I don't even know who that is.
So we're gonna edit that part out so that we don't age out of this podcast.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I believe you. Okay. What's the noise that you hate?
The noise that I hate, getting tagged with a pickleball when
Oh,
my
yeah.
paddles are too slow. To the question earlier, if I can't get my backhand alive and well, and I get stuck in the chest, it's a bad noise. It's a bad
noise.
feeling.
Bad noise. All right. If you weren't starting this fabulous new league and doing all of that hard work, what profession other than that would you like to attempt? And it has to be something you've never tried.
Okay, I was gonna say, is it something relating to my history or my past with prior jobs? Something that I have never done before.
Never done.
Wow. I feel like I can't say anything that's sports related, so that's kind of disqualified.
Yeah, you can. MLB player,
Oh man, I would love to be an NBA player. Basketball was my first true love.
Was it first NBA?
Yeah. So NBA player is probably my answer there.
All right. What profession would you absolutely never want to have to try or do?
Oh, I got to be careful here because I know that there are a lot of league participants that are currently and prospectively playing in Honcho that are accountants.
Oh, no.
Love them, thankful for them, but
Yep.
not my speed.
No.
Not being
My son, I've told this story before. My son, he's not an accountant, but he did he's a finance major and he's now working in finance. And he helped us out when he did a big spreadsheet for us, and he knows this. And it was just it was a 5-year forecast. It was all numbers. And I looked at it and I went, oh. And I said, can you put some color on it? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, now I can look at it, but the number spreadsheet.
Well, see, he's a finance guy. I appreciate the numbers and I appreciate forward looking with the world of finance, but accounting that's
the other way.
The bookkeeping aspect, assessing historical.
You're right.
Accounting, that's homework.
Data entry.
No, that's homework. That's like, homework. You can't go out to play until you do your homework. That's to me what accounting is. I'm like, I hate it. I'm with you.
Yeah. All right, now here's a good question for this boy, because you've been very good and I haven't heard one curse word out of any of us this episode, which is shocking. Just shows that your mother did a good job in raising you. But if you had to swear, what would be your favorite curse word?
I have done a good job at fooling the two of you. I unfortunately do have a potty mouth and it comes out very often and loudly on the pickleball courts. And so for all the venue partners that have seen me active in the Honcho pickleball leagues and have heard me, I apologize. My favorite swear word is definitely, hurts me to say it, the F word. It slips out every once.
Footwork?
The what?
Footwork.
Footwork. Yes, that's exactly what I'm referring to.
We cover it with.
I almost got technical this weekend. In fact, I told the ref to give me a technical because the net was in my way. I ran back. We were short courts, and I ran back for a lob, and I had it, and I was just going to flick it back, and then I looked at the corner of my other net was there, so I had to stop, and I went over the net. Thankfully, I didn't go over the net. I stopped and just kind of belly flopped on it, and I'm like, fucking net. And the ref goes, "What did you say?" I'm like, "I'm pretty sure you heard me." And I'm like, give me a technical if you need to, but I'm pissed right now. And she's like, what's your language on the live stream? I'm like, it's just for my mother. And she's like, what would your mother think? And I'm like, have you met her? No.
That's
move on.
Yeah.
Like, this was this whole dialogue. And then she's calling this for. And I'm like, shut up. I got to play. But no, she did a great job. But
yeah. You want to have a free tongue and say as you will. So that's a good point. Are they pretty strict about curse words during?
Yes, they are. And sometimes I've started now cursing in different languages, but you have to move past your French, Italian, and Portuguese because everyone knows those. So now a friend of mine taught me a couple in Sri Lankan, so I love those because no one knows what they are. And they're absolutely horrendously offensive, but they don't sound it. So it's great.
Bilingual. Look at her, a woman of many talents.
Right, no, I will swear in 50 different languages. It's fine. Like, because I just have to know which was the audience, and you pull out the right one.
Yep.
There you go. Well done. Okay, final question, Aaron, before we wrap this baby up.
All right.
If heaven exists, what would you like to have God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Love that question. I think when I come to face with God, with the big man, I hope that he looks at me and says, I'm proud of you for the work that you have done. I'm proud of you for the way that you approach life. And I'm proud of you for sharing the good word and sharing my love onto others. How about
that? Look at that.
And
yeah,
what if he gave
there you go, keeping it.
What if he gave you his own honcho hat at the end?
Mm.
Right? Like,
he gave me this. Well, if he gave me this, but it had some sort of
look at that
glowing gold on it. Oh my gosh!
I think he might say is, dude, what are you doing? You know I'm the head honcho.
Oh goodness me, you're gonna get me in trouble. No, I wouldn't even be that audacious. I would say good work, good servant.
Yes. Oh, that's really good.
And then he'll put you to work right away and goes, we need some more leagues. Go.
Go organize those people over there.
Yeah. Go get all the angels involved in the pickleball league over yonder. I'd say, yes, sir.
There you go. There we go. Hey, well, we'd loved having you on, and really nice to chat with you, mate. And best of luck with everything you're doing. Lee, what else do we usually ask at the end here?
Where can our lovely 3 listeners follow you, find you, get information about Honcho Pickleball Leagues, everything that anything is to do with Honcho, or if you want to throw your phone number at Social Security, closest Nigerian uncle that's trying to send you money, anything like that.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that question. HonchoPickled.com, where it'll give you a lot of details as to, again, who we are, where we've been, where we are, where we're going, as well as league registration details. League registration for our late spring leagues closing out this Sunday, the 14th.
Okay.
If you're interested and you're in one of our cities, go check it out. As well as our social page, Honcho Pickle, on Instagram and Facebook. Would love to have you all join the Honcho family in some form or fashion, as we are striving to continue to build our community across the nation, and would love to have you be a part of it. So check us out.
That's so good. Well, we will make sure they do, and we will promote it on the website as well to make sure that everybody knows where to go and what to do. But very nice chatting with you, mate. Have a great time. Good luck with all that you're doing, and keep us posted. Well, we're going to keep in touch, aren't we? So we're going to be tracking and watching you closely and seeing how it's growing. And unless there's anything else, Lee, it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from her.
All right. See you next time.